They could write songs about the long, complicated, twisty road that it's been to get a new Crow remake to the big screen. Of course, they've had about 4 or 5 different directors attached, 3 or 4 different sets of writers, and no less than 4 or 5 actors who have been attached to be the new Crow, including Jason Momoa, Tom Hiddleston, Luke Evans, Jack Houston. Who was the other one? There was another one. Oh, yeah, I already said Tom Hiddleston. Anyway, there were like 4 or 5 of them, all attached to be it, all fell away. But now we got Bill Skarsgard. The movie's coming out in a few months. And of course, yesterday we talked about this on the show. They released the first picture of Bill Skarsgard as the character in The Crow. Now, if you guys remember, I didn't love the picture, but it's just a picture. You know, wait till we see it in context. Wait till we see it in motion. But I said on the show yesterday, yeah, it's not really doing it for me, but maybe I'll change my mind once we see it more in context. I do feel, though, that if the original Crow had never been made and was being made today for the first time in today's context, whatever, I don't think this picture is terribly far off from what it would have looked like if this was the original Crow happening today. Again, I didn't really like it, but we'll see what happens once we see it in motion. Well, the director of the original Crow film, Alex Proyas, who I think did a pretty decent job with that I, Robot movie he did with Will Smith. Not great, but I thought he did a pretty decent job with that. He's also the director of Gods of Egypt, one of the worst films ever made in cinematic history. He then went on to blame, if I remember correctly, went on to blame critics and audiences for just not getting his genius. But he decided, without provocation, to jump on social media and just bash on this new film based on a still image. This comes to us from the folks over at Joe Blow, who wrote the following. Sharing one of the images, Alex Proyas said, "Eric Draven's having a bad hair day. Next reboot, thanks." In the comments, he continued to mock the look. I guess he's supposed to be a bad mofo with all those tats and werewolves and skulls on his jacket. Crying, laughing emoji. Samuel Adams, Jesus, he could at least drink something more badass. Crying, laughing emoji. Well, at least the stills gave me a good laugh. I thought they were going to take a dump on Brandon Lee's legacy for a moment. Okay. Alex Proyas is a classless piece of garbage. And I happen to agree with him on the look of kind of on the look of the picture, right? But you're the director of the original film, and you whining little baby that nobody takes you seriously anymore, so I'm going to try to tear down anything else somebody tries to do now. And this is the thing, I often give more leeway to like somebody if they're like being interviewed about something and a interviewer hits them with a question and then they got to answer. And you know, if you're a director and somebody brings up a question about another director, try to be classy about it. Right? Like if an interviewer said, "Hey, Alex, you know, they're making the new reboot and new pictures come out. You know, what do you think?" Don't lie, but say, you know, right now the image isn't sitting with me the right way. It's not hitting me the right way, but I wish them the best of luck. And hopefully it turns out to be great. Right? Not lying, being honest, but also kind of being, at least having a monochrome of class, like just the smallest microscopic ounce of class.
He's literally old man screaming at the clouds.
Yeah, yeah, that's what he is now. He is the old man standing out on the lawn screaming at the clouds. That's what Alex Proyas is now. I honestly thought this was dirtbag. This was an absolute dirtbag move on his part. Because now you've got all these other creatives and people who, by the way, we have not seen 5 seconds of footage from this movie. And it might suck. I'm not going to lie to you. I personally am kind of expecting it to suck. But, you know, he is a director in this field, and to then call it the work of another director that he hasn't even seen yet and just start bashing on it. And Jonathan raised a good point prior to us going on air, which is basically like, hey, if there were fans of the original that were on the fence about whether or not to get behind this new movie, oh, well, he just wanted to come out and make sure, hate it, everybody, hate it. I've said this for years. This has always been a thing of mine. I don't believe actors should be bashing on other actors. I don't think directors should be bashing on other directors. If you're asked about it, be honest, but try to be classy about it. He just decided to jump on social media and try to turn people against this movie. I don't know that anybody in this business is ever going to want to work with him again. Not that anybody does want to work with him anymore anyway. He does have a couple of small projects coming out but I don't think are major. I could be wrong about that, but I think he's got this one based on something that he wrote himself. But I don't know why anybody would want to work with him at this. I just, and listen, I have, yes, he did Gods of Egypt, which is one of the worst films ever made in history, but he's also made a couple of movies I've enjoyed. And I would really like to see him continue making films, and I would like to see more work from him in the future. Because you know what? Even when he sucks, he kind of swings big. He swings for big concepts, and I appreciate that, and I respect that. So even if you make a movie like Gods of Egypt that completely sucks, you tried something that a lot of filmmakers wouldn't have had the guts to try, and I can respect that and look forward to it. But man, I think this was absolutely trailer park trash classless. I think this dude's a punk. I have no interest in ever hearing his name again. Just to turn on and start trashing all these other people who are working on something that are in the same field as him. And he should appreciate how hard it is to try to bring a movie to the big screen, that it might be hard. And listen again, if you watch it and you didn't like it and somebody asks you about it later, say, you know what, it didn't work for me. But you know, I applaud that they gave it a swing and tried it. You know, I don't think it worked out the way it could have worked out, but okay. But this is different. This is just deciding to be an asshole. And yeah, I'll be perfectly happy if we never have to say this jerk-off's name again on this show. Hey guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, The Perfect Jean. Guys, are you tired of the rough and rigid jeans crushing your boys? Well, today's sponsor, The Perfect Jean, finally solved all of your denim difficulties. They make great-looking, perfect-fitting jeans that are as comfortable as sweatpants. The secret? A special denim fabric that is super soft and has the perfect amount of stretch so you can squat, do yoga, or just sit around all day without ever having to take them off. I'm going to admit I was a little bit skeptical because to me, jeans have always been jeans. They're practical, but not always the most comfortable. But I'm telling you guys, it's not an exaggeration. Once I put on these jeans, the Perfect Jean redefined what jeans can be to me. They're the perfect fit, they stretch, they breathe, and again, they're just insanely comfortable. So guys, it's finally time to stop crushing your balls in uncomfortable jeans by going to theperfectjean.nyc/Campea15. Our listeners get 15% off your first order plus free shipping, free returns and free exchanges when you use code Campea15 at checkout. Again, that's 15% off for new customers at theperfectjean.nyc/Campea15 and use the code Campea15. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support the John Campea Show and tell them we sent you. Anyway, Chris, you and I have not talked about this yet at all. For all I know, you have a completely different feeling on this. What do you think?
No, I don't. This is giving, you know, when you go into the comment section and there's a troll who calls people soy boy?
Oh,
like it's giving that energy of someone who's like, I know what masculine is and it's not this, which is just silly. I don't know. I just don't understand why. And certainly I've seen things. Like, I'm not perfect. I've seen things and had a knee-jerk reaction to them. I don't know why you would just talk about somebody like entering the fold of your franchise, though, and be that dismissive. Unprovoked.
You know what? Because you come across as an insecure, fragile little piece of glass.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, if people like the new one, and listen, I don't think this new one's going to be any good, but he's acting like, oh no, if people like the new one, that looks bad on me. You fucking baby.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I mean, the original Crow, and I've not seen a lot of this franchise. I will put that out there.
Oh, you're not even a real fan. Why are we talking
I'm not
to
even
you?
a real fan. Why would anyone? Someone the other day was like, she hasn't even seen this movie. Why is she talking? I was like, I don't pick the topics of the news, my friend. Like, they just happen.
The news comes out. It is what it is.
I haven't seen the pantheon of human films.
Haven't you?
I should. I really should get on that. But, you know, this is a very kitschy cult classic kind of franchise, too. And I just feel like if someone's going to try a new take on it, maybe we wait till a trailer or something to really have some thoughts on it as opposed to just some still images. I mean, again, knee-jerk reaction. I've had that. When we saw Timothée Chalamet as Wonka and everyone started passing around that meme of him versus Gonzo from Muppet Christmas Carol saying stole his entire fit. Like, I loved that shit. I loved that.
Yeah, but you're
But
not,
I'm
a director,
not a director.
right?
Yeah.
It's fair for fans to have whatever reaction we want at any level. I mean, they're still more classy and not so classy, right? But we're free to do that. But I just don't think actors should be unprovokedly bashing the work of other actors, or that directors should be unprovokedly be bashing the work of other directors.
Exactly. You know, as a filmmaker, how hard it is to make a film is part of it. And obviously everyone is still
He
entitled
knows.
till he very much knows.
He knows.
you're still entitled to your own opinions, thoughts, and feelings and everything, but there is a better way to do things sometimes. And I don't know, talking shit about Sam Adams just seems like we're really stretching. Like, if he was a real man, he'd be drinking some Black Crow whiskey.
Yeah.
Be on brand.
Not soy beer.
Yeah. He'd be drinking Absolute Coors. He'd be drinking Werewolf Killers, Silver Bullets.
Soy tears.
Like, yeah. They just seem like odd critiques. I'd rather have critiques about the actual project.
Yeah, and I just, again, I don't want him to lie. Have some class. Just have just a little bit of class. Anyway, and again, I say this as somebody who I got no skin in this game. I don't give two craps about this new movie. I really don't. I hope it's good. I mean, I hope every movie I see is good. But anyway, there's that. Guys, what do you think about it? Whatever your thoughts are, I'm sure some of you are going to be vehemently disagree with me. That's perfectly fine. Go ahead and jump down in the comments and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.